Today, we're going to be reversing Michael Vick's career, which means he's starting his career on the Steelers as a rookie. And then he's moving on to the Jets, then to the Eagles, and then closing things out with the Falcons to end his career. Right away, Vick is getting a chance to really have a better career than what his normal one was like. And in the process, he's going to be changing NFL history forever. His first year at the Steelers is going to be one of the best situations he's walking into with a team that's ready to win now. And having Jerome Bettis and a rookie Hines Ward on the team is just the start of everything for him. And Vick's going to have a lot of pressure on him for being a #1 overall pick, and he's going to be capitalizing on that this year, throwing for 3,800 yards and 25 TDs in his first season with the Steelers. And along with that, he's taken the team to a 10-7 record and making the playoffs, where in the first round they're going to be visiting the Jacksonville Jaguars. And while the Jags do have a pretty good team on paper, Vick would be absolutely dominating them in his first playoff game, 31-6, which would also be a huge help by Jerome Bettis, as he had 224 yards and 3 TDs in one of the most dominant running back games we've ever seen. So now in the divisional round, he's going to have to face the Ravens, who are obviously going to be a lot tougher of a team right now, with guys like Ray Lewis and Ed Reed hitting their primes on this team, which is going to be really tough for Vick to take on. And even though he has a lot of pressure on him this game, he's somehow taken down this Ravens team 16-10 in a very close game and is now getting a serious shot to make the Super Bowl this year. If he'd accomplished something like that in his rookie season, there's already going to be a debate that this season could already be better than anything he did in his normal career. But in order to get there, he's going to have to face one of the hardest teams in the NFL right now. And that would be no other than the Indianapolis Colts, led by all-time quarterback Peyton Manning. This is one of the most dangerous teams in the league right now, with having guys like Edgar and James and Marvin Harrison as well. This team is going to be the one to beat right now. And Vick and company would actually be keeping this game close the whole entire time between Peyton Manning and the Colts, but at the end of the game, Manning would hit the dagger on Vick. They hurry up to the line now, 3rd and 16. He's chucking a big deep ball up to Marvin Harrison. He mosses him in the end zone. Colts take a lead 16-13. Vick is getting stopped in the AFC Championship game. Manning to Marvin Harrison is going to be the dagger against them. So this is going to be a pretty tough way for Vick to end his time in Pittsburgh, but he's now going to New York for bigger and better things. But instead, he's joining a Jets team that's not very good at all right now, with his best player being Curtis Martin at running back, so it's really going to be him and Vick carrying this team around. So with him joining a team like the Jets, if he can find any success with this team here, it's definitely going to be very big for his resume. And he would definitely be having a good sophomore year for himself, going for 4,000 yards and 22 touchdowns on the year, as well as leading the team to an 11-6 record, making the playoffs yet again. And making the playoffs for the Jets is something that they never really see too often, and Vick's actually going to be changing the whole narrative for the team, as he's going to be helping them make a deep playoff run this year. And it's getting to the point where he's going to end up taking this team to the AFC Championship game to face a division rival, being the Buffalo Bills, who have Drew Bledsoe at QB and a pretty solid team all around. So in order for Vick to lead the Jets to the Super Bowl, he's going to have to carry the team in this game, which he's going to be doing a very good job of, while he's keeping it close the whole entire time with the Bills. And while the Bills would actually be dominating most of this game, Michael Vick's going to be running a comeback in the 4th quarter to help the Jets take over the Bills' lead. So now it's coming down to the defensive hands to see if they're going to the Super Bowl or not this year. Here we go now, 3rd and 18 here for Drew Bledsoe. The Bills have pretty much done nothing on this drive except get stopped, and the Jets are going to force out a fumble as O-lineman recovers it though. Gonna be 4th and 28 here. Bills are going for it. I guess you kind of have to, but you have 3 timeouts, so I guess you should probably trust your defense in this situation, especially. He's taking a deep shot. He's got Moulds down there. The Jets DB makes a huge play, swats it down. That is a turnover on downs end at the 6-yard line. This is pretty much wrapped up. Vick and company are going to the Super Bowl. So in just Vick's 2nd season, he's going to be going to the Super Bowl, and with a win there, he could easily already be on track for a better career than what he had normally. But the team that's going to be in the way of that is going to be Brett Favre and the Green Bay Packers, which is going to be a very dangerous team for Vick to face off against. And it's pretty clear that this Green Bay team has a lot more experience than the Jets going into this one, and with Vick not having the best supporting cast, the odds are definitely against him in this one. And it's pretty clear that Favre's going to be taking advantage of this Jets team, as going into the 4th quarter, he's going to be taking a lead over them 31-14, making it look like Vick's first Super Bowl game is going to be a disaster. And from everyone's point of view, it looks like Favre's going to be adding his 2nd Super Bowl ring, and Vick's going to be going down in his first Super Bowl appearance. But then in the 4th quarter, Mike Vick's going to be turning on the Jets in this one, and is going to be helping them lead a comeback potentially in the biggest game of his life. And we get to a point with less than 3 minutes left in the game. Michael Vick's dropped 14 points on this Packers team, making it a 28-31 game for them. And all he needs is the defense to make one more big stop here so he can get the ball back in his own hands and take this game apart for the Packers. Jets only have one more timeout to use here, and they're gonna blitz Favre and they're gonna get to him. Oh my God, it might happen. Jets probably don't want to use this timeout anytime soon. Vicks going for the deep ball, and he might get there. Oh my God, he gets his guy down at the 8. That is going to be Santana Moss, actually. Oh my God. Jets are now in comfortable position to easily get a touchdown here and take a lead. Like, we don't even got to play for overtime anymore. They hand it off to the back. 45 seconds. Probably going to get down to, I think. All right, Jets use their last time out here. That's kind of shocking. I guess you kind of have to, but I mean, you could easily tie this game up. But also, who wants to go into overtime Super Bowl? And the screen pass is going to work. Touchdown Jets. Curtis Martin forces the lead for the Jets. And Vick and company are just 41 seconds away from winning the Super Bowl. You need a first down here if you're the Packers. The Favre is stepping up in the pocket and is going to throw it away. So I guess they're just opting for the Hail Mary at this point. Here comes Favre now. He's going to throw a check down to... Why would you do that? Oh my God. Vick and company have pulled off the 31-14 comeback in the fourth quarter. So in legendary fashion, Michael Vick has pulled off one of the best comebacks we've ever seen in the Super Bowl in only his second year in the league. It's going to be one of those games that goes down for the ages, and his reverse career already looks better than his normal career that he had. But bad news for Jets fans, that's going to be the only year you're getting from Michael Vick, but it's hard to say that you didn't get enough out of him after that. So now going into season 3, he's going to be joining the Philadelphia Eagles to hopefully replicate the same success he had here. And he's walking into a great situation in Philadelphia, having a great supporting cast around him, including legendary safety Brian Dawkins. And he's going to be having a very solid year for himself, going for 4,100 yards and 30 touchdowns, along with going for 500 rushing yards and 7 rushing touchdowns. But even with that, he's only leading the Eagles to a 9-8 record, which would just be sneaking into the playoffs for them. And the Eagles would be getting past the wildcard round to find themselves in the divisional round to face against the 15-2 Saints. They have a pretty loaded roster this year, which definitely shows on their record, so going into a game like this, the Eagles are for sure not favored in this one. But Vick and company would be pushing that narrative to the side, and Vick's going to be having his best playoff performance yet, going for 400 yards and 5 TDs to take down the Saints 45-27 and advance to the NFC Championship game. So with Vick getting a second chance to make it to back-to-back Super Bowls in his career, he's going to have to go through a division rival yet again, being the Dallas Cowboys. So with this game being two division rivals playing for a chance to go to the Super Bowl, this game would be intense the whole entire time. And this Cowboys team's pretty good this year, but when you're going up against a guy like Michael Vick, who is surrounded by a bunch of playmakers, it's going to be very hard to take him down. So with that being said, in a close game, Michael Vick's going to be taking down the Cowboys 28-21 to advance to the Super Bowl. And Vick's going to be taking a trip down memory lane for his opponent in the Super Bowl, as he's going to be going against the Pittsburgh Steelers, who he started off his career with. There's officially an argument that this is going to be the biggest game of his career now, as he's going up against his former team, and not only one of the most physical games of his career, but potentially mentally for himself. And this game would be as good as it gets, with the Eagles having the edge over the Steelers late in the game, being up 14-7, with both defenses doing the most to win this game for both of their said teams. And it's pretty clear that Vick in this game has been getting prevented the whole entire time, but now it's going to come down to the defense with less than 2 minutes to go and the Steelers having the ball for Vick to take home another Super Bowl trophy. All right, here we go. Maddox at quarterback for the Steelers here. They're only down 7 here with 3 timeouts, and the 2-minute warning is officially gone for them. He's going to take a shot down to try to get first down. It's going to be incomplete there, 3rd and 14. Here we go now. He's dropping back. He's going to get rushed by some pass rushers on the Eagles and almost converts the first down there. But that's going to be incomplete for them. Big play coming up here for the Eagles defense now. But more importantly, Vick could potentially win the Super Bowl here yet again. His defense comes in clutch and stops Maddox. So even though Vick didn't have the greatest performance in this game, a Super Bowl win is a Super Bowl win, and he gets to add that one to his career as well. The good news is that his time on the Eagles is not going to be a one-year wonder. He's going to be able to spend multiple years here and could very much seriously make a huge impact here. And the good news for him is that going into season 4, he's getting a big addition at wide receiver with the addition of Terrell Owens, who could definitely help him tear up the league. And the two of them would make one of the best dynamic duos in the league, as Vick's going to be going for 4,000 yards yards and 36 touchdowns, while Terrell Owens going to be counting for 1,300 of those yards, along with 18 of those touchdowns as well. And to add on to that, they're going to be going 13-4 on the year and also locking up the number 1 seed in the NFC. So it's really starting to look like this team could be going back-to-back as well. So as we're going into the playoffs, they're going to be thriving the whole way through as we get into the NFC Championship game, where they're going to be facing the Seattle Seahawks and Matt Hasselbeck along with Sean Alexander there as well. And with the Eagles being the number 1 seed, it's pretty clear that they're favored to take down the Seahawks in this game and find their way back to the Super Bowl. But I'm going to be honest with you, things would be taking a very quick turn here. This Seahawks team would be absolutely dominating Eagles and Michael Vick in this one, taking them down 37-7, with this being potentially the worst game Michael Vick has ever lost in his NFL career. And even though this would be a disappointing season for Vick here on the Eagles, with it only being his second year on the team, there's still a lot of promise for what's to come in his time here. But after taking a loss like this, something crazy would happen over the next 3 seasons for Vick. He's going to be missing the playoffs for 3 years straight after having a season like this, which is very unlike himself and is definitely very concerning for the team here. Who knows what's going on with Michael Vick right now, but after 3 seasons of not making the playoffs at all with the Eagles, it's pretty clear that he might need to bounce back here within the next season. So there's now a lot of hope going into season 8 for Michael Vick, but before the season starts, there's something that needs to be covered. During the offseason, Michael Vick was accused of running dogfights from his own house, and unlike OJ Simpson, he actually did do it this time. So with that being said, he's going to be going to jail for 2 seasons here, and it's not going to be very pretty for him once he comes back. Everybody's image of him is officially cooked for him, and he's now going to have to build up his reputation from the ground up, and it's all going to be starting on the Atlanta Falcons. And his only way to build back up his reputation is by playing great football out there, which he's going to be doing this season, going for 4,100 yards and 40 touchdowns in his debut after being in jail for 2 years. And that success would also pair with a playoff appearance after he's leading the team to an 11-6 record, where he'll be playing the Saints in the wildcard round. This team not only happens to be their division rival, but in the process, he's going to have to manage to take down Drew Brees, who is one of the best QBs in the NFL right now. And this game would be elite playoff performance by both QBs, as they're going to be leading their offenses down the field the whole entire time. And at the end of it, Michael Vick would be having a little bit of the edge over Drew Brees. He's going to be taking him down 34-24. And that win there would definitely be shocking to everybody, as they didn't think Michael Vick had it in him to take down elite QB just quite yet. But in order to keep up this momentum, he's going to have to continue his deep playoff run, which he's going to be doing in the divisional round, as he's going to be going up against the Lions, who have Matthew Stafford and Calvin Johnson right now. At this point, Calvin and Stafford have made their name as one of the best QB duos in the league right now, so Michael Vick's gonna have a tough task on his hands here. So Vick's gonna try to give it his all this game so he can try to lead this team to the NFC Championship game, but at the end of the day, Stafford and Calvin Johnson were just too experienced for him and would end up taking him down 33-14. And even though this is definitely a tough loss on Vick here, he definitely had a great season going on for him, but there's very clearly things that he needs to fix up in his game. But the good news for him is that the Falcons are going to be picking up Julio Jones in the NFL draft, creating a new wide receiver quarterback duo in the league that most people are going to fear now. And with that pickup in the offseason, it's going to help them out a lot, as they're going to be going all the way to the NFC Championship game just to see the Lions yet again. And this time around, it's pretty clear that the Falcons are way more prepared this time, with a lot more help on the offense as well. And this time around, Vick's going to be keeping the game a lot closer, but even with that, they're still going to be down 21-17 in the fourth quarter. And with just one more play left in the game, Vick has to pull off a miracle for his team to make it to the Super Bowl somehow here. One more chance at a miracle here for the Falcons. This is it for them. Vick immediately throws it out towards the middle, and it's not going to be caught, and that is going to do it. The Lions take down the Falcons for a second year straight in the playoffs, this time in the NFC Championship game. So this time around, Vick's taking an even tougher loss to the Lions, as it's going to be one game away from the Super Bowl. It's pretty clear that the Lions are his kryptonite right now, so if he's going to have to make the Super Bowl again somehow with a team like this, it's not going to have to go through the Lions. So as we go into season 12 for Vick, he's going to be having one of the best years of his career here. To start things off, he's going to be finishing with his first NFL MVP after he has 4,700 yards and 44 touchdowns on the year. And along with that, he's going to be leading the team to a 12-5 record, which would be good enough to win the division for them. So with this newfound success that Vick has brought to the Atlanta Falcons, it's going to be good enough for them to make it to the NFC Championship game this year, as they're going to be playing against the Green Bay Packers, who now have Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. It's going to be a very important game game for both of these teams here, as Rodgers is looking for his first Super Bowl appearance and Michael Vick's looking to add to his Super Bowl resume, but also bring a Super Bowl to Atlanta as well. And this game would be intense the whole entire time, as Michael Vick's going to be using some of his elite playmaking skills and Rodgers would be throwing dimes the whole entire game. But as we got towards the fourth quarter, the Packers would be leading the Falcons 24-21, so it's starting to look like Vick might be disappointing the team again this year. But Vick's going to be given a chance to turn the whole entire game around for the Falcons here with a potential game-leading drive. Falcons do have all 3 timeouts here with 1:30 to go. Vick on the play action. He's taking his time in the pocket. He's going to scramble up. He's going to try to make a play with his legs. He's going past the 50, the 40, the 30, down at the 33. Big play there by Vick on his legs. That's the Vick we all know and see every single time we watch his highlight reels. He's now going to take it out to Roddy White. He's going to get that and grabs the first down with it. Yet again, another timeout used by the Falcons here. I would expect another run play from them to get this ball into the end zone, but they are going to throw it. And it's going to be down to Roddy White. Touchdown Falcons with 46 seconds left. Falcons are going up 3 with a chance to go up 4 with a field goal. And now Rodgers has to figure out something for the Packers offense. All right, here we go. 4th and inches now. Falcons defense with a chance to make a play to send them to the Super Bowl. He's going to throw it out to his receiver. And with 9 seconds left, they got to hurry up to the line here and get a play off. 5 seconds. It kind of looks like the Packers are going to get something going here. And they will. One more play. Will this be the dagger? The defense gets to Rodgers. And that is going to do it. The Falcons are going to the Super Bowl with Michael Vick for the first time. And a legendary year for Vick is going to continue with the Super Bowl appearance here. And he now has a chance to make this one of the best seasons we've seen in the NFL's history. And the team he's going to have to face in the Super Bowl is looking to also make NFL history here as well. It's going to be the Baltimore Ravens, who have a 17-0 record right now. So they could be trying to go for the perfect season here. And while the offense for the Ravens may not be the greatest thing on paper, it's going to be the defense that's going to be the star of the show here, as they have Ed Reed, Ray Lewis, and Terrell Suggs on that side, so Vick's not going to have an easy task in this game. So if he's able to pull out a win here and manage to take down a Ravens team like this, it's going to go down in NFL history forever. It's pretty clear that everybody thinks that Michael Vick's not going to have an easy time taking down this Ravens team and will probably end up losing it, but Vick's going to be taking that narrative and throwing it in the trash, because Michael Vick and company are going to be taking down a so-called generational team in the Super Bowl and absolutely dominating them in the process. And that play right there is gonna do it. Michael Vick and company are taking down the undefeated Ravens in an embarrassing loss for the Ravens, 27-10. Vick just took down maybe one of the best defenses in the league with ease, it felt like. And ring number 3 here is probably going to be the most important one to Vick's career, as how much meaning it had to him this season. It's not often we're ever going to see a 17-0 team make the playoffs and go all the way just for them to lose in the Super Bowl. So a win here will put Vick in NFL history forever. He officially now has a chance to go back-to-back with the Falcons, which is what he's going to be trying to do in season 13. But to be honest, the results are going to be shocking the whole world. The reigning Super Bowl champions are going to be going 8-9 on the season and officially missing the playoffs, which is going to be very disappointing after the win they just had over one of the best teams we've ever seen. It's a pretty disappointing season for Vick here, as this was supposed to be a very big year for the team that ends up falling apart in disappointment. But now heading into season 14 for Vick, not only are we about to hit the end of his career, but this season he's looking to bounce back from last season. And thankfully they would be doing that, as Vick's going to be going for 4,400 yards and 35 TDs, along with leading the team to a 10-7 record and making the playoffs this time. It's pretty clear that MVP Vick is finally back in play here, and he's going to be continuing that into the playoffs, as in the wildcard round, he's going to be absolutely dominating the Packers 21-7 right away. And that would be the momentum this team would need to get through the playoffs, as they're going to be using that to get themselves back into the NFC Championship game, this time to be facing the Dallas Cowboys. This Cowboys team is pretty good. They have Tony Romo at quarterback, and also having Dez Bryant as their wide receiver 1 is going to make defenses' jobs a lot harder. So it's pretty clear that if Vick wants to find his way back into the Super Bowl, he needs to keep up his MVP type of performances here. And for the first half of this game, Vick and Romo would be playing a game of cat and mouse, with both of them scoring against each other the whole time. But then in the second half, things fell apart for Michael Vick and company, as they would be losing to the Cowboys 40-16 in an absolutely dominant performance by the Cowboys here. This is definitely shocking after seeing how Vick played throughout the whole entire regular season, and now he's going to be heading into his last season with a lot at stake here. So heading into Michael Vick's final season. I'm happy to say that he's going to be keeping up this MVP type of performance in his final year, going for 4,500 yards and 38 TDs. And to pair with that, he's going to be leading the Falcons to a 14-3 record, which would be on top of the NFC. So with it being his final season, it's pretty much Super Bowl or bust for him, and that's going to be good news for him as he's going to be making it all the way to the NFC Championship games that have one more thriller against Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. And it's going to be one of the biggest NFC Championship games we've seen Vic play in. Between Rodgers and him, this game would be legendary the whole time. And this would be a very offensive game by both teams here, as Vic and Rodgers would be dealing out touchdowns the whole entire time, as we would be getting to the end of the fourth quarter tied at 41. So that officially means we're getting overtime here in the second biggest stage in the NFL has to offer. And this overtime game would be pretty back and forth. Rodgers and Vic would both fail to score on their first possessions, which means we're officially in sudden death for both teams here. Rodgers now, again, great protection there, and throws it out to his tight end and barely gets any yards there, but that will be 3rd and 3. Here we go now. Falcons defense, can they make another big play here and get Vic the ball back yet again? Rodgers hands it off to Eddie Lacy. Eddie Lacy's going to get some yards. He has some room to run. Gets it down at the 44 there in a first down. Rodgers and company are quickly moving this ball here. Don't know what's exactly going to happen here. The Falcons defense needs to make a big play. Eddie Lacy runs it and gets barely any yards there. Can they make the stop for Vic to get this ball back here? Rodgers getting pressured a little bit. The D tackle's going to get to him and sacks him. That's going to be 4th and 11 now. Here we go now. Vic, can he find a way to get his team back into field goal range and potentially close this game out for them and send them to the Super Bowl? Gets it out to Julio Jones there. Julio's going to have some room to run. He gets stopped. Gets a little there. 40 again there. Oh my God, what a play by Julio, down at the 37. All right, here we go for the Falcons. Will the kicker miss this kick again? We're going to have to see. The kick is up, and that is going to be good. The Falcons have taken down the Packers, and Vic is going back to the Super Bowl in his final season here. So Vic's getting the last laugh on Rodgers in this one, and he's going to be going back to the Super Bowl in his final season to go up against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And it's a pretty full circle moment for Vic here. This is the very first team he started in his reverse career, and he's going to be ending it by having to take them down in the Super Bowl, this time being an Atlanta Falcons. But the Steelers team has adapted and gone a lot better since then. They now have Big Ben at quarterback, along with having Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell, who we all know are probably the best CTE players of all time. So it's pretty clear that Vic's going to have a lot of competition in his final game of his NFL career, but knowing him, he's going to be leaving this one out all on the field in this one. So as Vic takes on one of the biggest games of his NFL career, this one being his final one, it's going to be pretty tough for him to take down the Steelers team. But with that being said, he's going to be getting the job done, taking them down 24-18 in the biggest stage ever. An absolutely dominant game here by the Falcons. Take down the Steelers 24-18. What a game by both teams here. But the Falcons and Vic are leaving this one on top of the world here. That is not a better way to cap off your career in the NFL than that. So one thing's for certain after Vic's reversed NFL career, it's very much better than his normal career, but where does this rank on the top 10 of all-time NFL career list?